We love John McCain.
Thank you.
We do. He sat down for an interview with Esquire, and he would like Hillary Clinton to hush. Because he says he felt it was a mistake for her to write a book so soon after she lost, and that he learned after his loss the hardest thing to do is just shut up. Now, is he right?
With all due respect to your father, and whom I like very much, I think he's wrong. I think a woman's place is in the resistance. The woman won the election.
When we talked to her, I learned a lot from that book, and I know it was probably super cathartic for her to write, and she talked about dealing with it. What I think I could get on board with is if she wrote it, got it out, but then maybe waited to release it so it becomes more historical, because I think the optics of looking at someone that's lost, whether you agree with them, and I voted for her or not, it looks bad when you did not win, and you're already out of the gates talking.
She did win.
But you know, we asked her about that when
she did win.
She won the popular vote.
She won the popular vote. But we don't elect presidents in America with the popular vote.
But the numbers are still there.
Does that make you feel good at night? Like when you're so angry about Trump, does that make you feel better? Because if I were you, it would not make me feel better.
It doesn't.
The electoral
college makes me feel better.
Matter. I mean, the electoral college you live and die by, and I will say, losing the presidency is a unique experience.
I know my civics, Meg.
Oh, because you've experienced running for president. You know what it feels like on election night, Joy.
Listen, I was hit.
She wore a black veil.
I had a black veil on the night that
why are you pointing to me?
I'm talking for them.
I was sitting here.
I was telling the audience, calm down.
What my father is saying is the personal experience.
Yeah.
Bitches are hot today.
No, I think her point is a valid one, because you were up close and personal when your father didn't win the election.
And I've been there on election nights for other candidates who haven't won, and it's deeply sad. And I think when on our election night we prayed, and then my father told me to buck up. We're the most blessed people in the world, and then he didn't complain about it. And we as a family recognized President Obama as the phenomenon that he was. And whether or not you like it, President Trump is a populist phenomenon in a completely different way. And I think if I were you and I'm part of the resistance, I would look forward to new leadership. Because
I am.
And who?
I just want to say very quickly, I feel better that she won the popular vote, because that tells me that the majority of Americans understand that racism is wrong, that the otherism is wrong, and that a woman can lead.
Thank you.
So it makes me feel more comfortable.
Right. It makes me feel better about the
2020. Sunny.
Bye, y'all. We'll be right back.
For everybody, I think. We're worried. The people are worried. Okay, he's the president. Now what? We're watching you, okay?
Yeah.
What scares me the most, I don't know what scares all the rest of you the most, is that not since George W. Bush has there been a White House, a Senate, and a House of Representatives all from the same party.
Wait a minute. Did Joy Behar say what I think she just said? Listen to this again.
Not since George W. Bush has there been a White House, a Senate, and a House of Representatives all from the same party.
This is why idiot variety talk show hosts should stick with topics they're familiar with and stay out of politics. Joy, let me refresh your memory.
Apparently.
Get to it.
I'm trying. When you're in a rush? You in a rush?
No.
I'll go as fast as I can.
There's so much going on, that's all.
Well, yeah.
Trying to go. I know.
Yeah. Michael Flynn wasn't the only one who had Russia on speed dial, apparently. Phone records and intercepted calls show that members of you-know-who's presidential campaign had repeated contacts with Russian intelligence officials. Now, apparently this was a year before the election. Now, he called it fake news. He always does that. And added information is being illegally given to the failing New York Times and the Washington Post by the Intelligence Committee, NSA, and FBI, just like Russia.
He questioned the integrity of the intelligence agencies. What does he expect? Does he expect them to love him and not leak stuff? Because he started this war with the intelligence agencies, and this is what you're getting now, Don.
It is a little scary, though, to me, because these people are unelected. So what you basically have is, now I'm not saying the content of the leaks aren't important.
The people?
These bureaucrats, the NSA, the intelligence officials that are unelected, that some are layover from the Obama administration, the concept that they can at will decide that if they overhear this information, and let's keep in mind that they always overhear interaction between American politicians and foreign officials, that's part of their job to oversee see that. If they can at will say, you know what, I think that people have a right to know this and leak it to the public, that can be a little bit concerning to me.
Sorry,
that's not to say the content isn't important.
No, no.
Assuming that
This is assuming that there is a leak, but this is not the leak is not the issue. They're on the phone with Russia.
And that is the issue. That's the issue because, I mean, it's almost like a thief. It's almost like a thief blaming, the surveillance video for the crime.
That's right. There you go.
So, right? I mean, isn't that what it's like? So you steal something and you get caught on surveillance and you go, it's that damn surveillance video.
Yeah. But
that's what the Trump administration is doing.
We talked about the leaks, though, even when it came to WikiLeaks, and always saying that the potential is for these leaks to be unverified, unsubstantiated.
But we don't know we don't know whether these are leaks. All we do know is that this information has been out there for a while. Michael Flynn's gone, and the fact that they were aware that these issues were present when he took office.
Yes.
They knew this was a problem. So for me, I just, I actually tweeted something this morning because it pissed me off. It pissed me off. It's like, really fake news? And so fake. Oh, there it is. Fake news, huh? So fake, Mr. Flynn resigned.
Yeah.
Wow. Does this mean that all those people you were blaming? Because, they tried to blame the Obama administration. They said, well, this is... Remember, Obama put the sanctions in, and the Russians did nothing. Okay? Because they knew they were going to be able to... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say, and I was asking Jed about this before the show, is the first thing that jumped out at me about this was that Comey felt it was so important leading right up to the campaign to let us know about some emails where they didn't know yet if they were duplicate emails or
the FBI.
The FBI. Against Hillary. Sorry.
Right.
He felt the need to come and speak out about that leading up in the last 90 days about emails. They didn't know yet if they were duplicate, if they had seen them, if there was anything in them, but we have to let people know. What I asked Jed was, why is this not the same problem? Because if I knew leading up that there was information about our democracy possibly being toyed with by a foreign power, that's one that I would think they should speak up about.
You want to ding that? You want to ding that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I got to
You're right. You're right.
You know what's bothering me is that the Republican Party is not stepping up the way they should. They will sell their soul down the river, sell democracy down the river so that the rich can get tax cuts.
No, that's not true.
Yes, that's what they're doing.
Republicans
I
standing
don't
up.
see anybody
That's not
really
true.
standing up.
But
Let
you
me
have
read you a quote.
Let me give you some names.
There are a couple of
Mitch
people.
McConnell,
Mark Meadows from North Carolina. Here's a quote. I would rather accomplish something with distractions than not accomplish anything with smooth sailing. They don't care. They don't care.
Mitch McConnell, Senator Richard Burr, Senator Mark Warner, John Cornyn, Senator Roy Blunt. They are all out there, and they are
Let's see
saying,
what they do.
You have Jason Chaffetz now investigating Mar-a-Lago and saying,
What are they going to do? The bottom line is, when I look at this from a prosecutor's viewpoint, this is treason. This is treason. If they find that definition of treason, because treason is putting your enemy before your country. Russia has been our #1 enemy for 65 years, and the question really be, what is the overall connection between Russia and this administration? And the way we get to that is Donald Trump's taxes, because that's where all of the business ties are.
I'm old enough to remember Watergate, and so are you, maybe.
Yes.
When Watergate happened, basically, we're in the same. So Nixon, we didn't know. Was Nixon involved in the break-in? Did he know anything? What did we know? So all these people were dropping like flies. Ehrlichman, Haldeman, John Mitchell, and then John Dean came in and he testified because he knew stuff. And then they found the tapes, and there it was, the smoking gun. Now, what is the smoking gun in this situation?
You know what?
And there needs to be an investigation.
Well, they need an investigation so that we can find the smoking gun.
Well, they need an investigation, but they need a separate group. Because the group that's in right now, I don't know how conservatives feel, but I would not feel comfortable with the group that's in now investigating themselves.
That's
now,
right.
I understand that the conservatives, I understand conservatives, I think that they kind of like what they're seeing. But I don't believe that, because after all the bitching and moaning they've done over what democracy is and what we stand for and blah, 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 for them to sit back and allow this seems crazy to me. And so I put it on you Republicans. I said this yesterday.
That's right.
I put it on the Republicans, because we have, you named some guys, we named folks last week who are saying, listen, there's a problem. And if they're standing up, the rest of you, Paul Ryan, the rest of you should get up and stand for America. As you say, America first. Well, when is that going to kick in with y'all?
They should open up to a special prosecutor. What you're saying is accurate. And the reason behind it is they argued for a special prosecutor when it came to Hillary's emails. They argued for a special prosecutor when it came to Benghazi. The truth is that all of these politicians are entrenched with each other, so you do need someone from the outside. Real conservatives will stand up and say the system, in order for it to thrive, you need someone.
It's possible
and they should.
That somebody's going to get Trump. Maybe it'll be Putin. Now we know that they were discussing sanctions. This guy Flynn, right, and probably saying we're going to get rid of the sanctions.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They were going to.
So now let's say Trump decides he's going to get rid of the sanctions. Well, the Americans will go crazy on our side. And if he doesn't get rid of the sanctions, that's going to tick off Putin. So Putin may turn on Donald. It's either the intelligence communities, the Republicans, or Putin. Someone's going to get Donald.
I just want to say that really quickly, I just want to say we have two things going on. The conversation with Flynn, we have wiretapping on that. We know what was said. The sanctions were discussed. These other conversations that were going on during the election, we don't know what was involved. That's where the investigation needs to take place.
The transcripts?
That's what needs to be found out. Those are the
what
details.
happened before the election,
what was
it's also what happened
and
after the
election.
And after.
Was there collusion?
But we have to say that the administration has denied all of these allegations.
Well, the administration believes in fake news. They are the fake news.
The administration also said a few days after that they didn't. A few days after the election, they came out and said we didn't speak with anyone from Russia, and now we know that in fact did happen.
As if this is a big surprise.
I know. He's a liar.
Because when they said when Flynn was up, they said, listen, he's been in touch with Russia. He got an apartment over there. Yeah, he doesn't. But I'm making funny. But they made enough of a stink to say there's a problem, and nobody chose to look at it. Yeah. So now it's a big problem, and it's a growing problem.
Yeah, and it's
only 35 days into this. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm with you, though. Yeah. Republicans need to step up.
Yeah, they need to step up.
We have to address. So you all can sit at the table and continue to talk about those things in the media, but we have a job to address. We have a job to make sure that the American people have exactly what they need.
Let me just jump in here real quickly. The day after the inauguration, millions of women marched around the world to protest President Trump. Many were offended by some of the things he said along the way, but how did you remedy this as a woman? Did any of this resonate with you?
Well, first, I'm an American. I'm a very proud American. So let's start with that. And I know people like to put labels. Omarosa's black, she's a woman, she's this. I'm an American first. And seeing those women march last week, it made me very proud. It's one of the most important fundamental rights that we have in this country. Right. The right to assemble, the freedom of speech, and the right to protest. I love seeing that. And there is a march going on. There's a march going on right now, the March for Life, that I hope that you all will give the same type of coverage that you are.
We did yesterday, actually. We covered it yesterday.
But today, it's going on right now. And so that same freedom should be afforded to all Americans. And I'm so glad that the Vice President is probably preparing to speak at the March for Life right now.
But why do you think it's so divisive? It's so divisive in our society right now.
It's politics. Politics is a tough game. This is my second time in the White House, so I'm not really new to the tension that comes with it. What's new to me is just this desire to paint Donald Trump with this negative brush without giving him a chance to do what he said he's going to do.
Can I just ask you this? We've been talking about how divisive this election is, and Gretchen's been talking about how divisive this election is. We often say that it comes from the top. He did lead this very divisive campaign. Will we hear him apologize?
Don't you think the media contributed to that?
Will we hear him apologize
for the things
that he said?
Stood by everything that he said. And now let me just say,
he
didn't make fun of a disabled reporter, but you can continue to say that. If you say it enough, people may start to believe it. Let me just say this as I close this. Y'all can keep throwing things at me. I'm not going to really fall for that. What I will say is the American people can listen to me right now and right here. we are committed to making this country the best it's going to be. We're not going to look in the past. We're going to look forward and put this country first. And that's what's not been happening in the last 8 years. We're going to put America first. We're going to put people back to work. We're going to make sure people are safe. And that's what this president is about.
Same as you,
This is a table for you all to negotiate things that you want to talk about from the past. But I now work for this country.
Yes.
And I take my job very seriously.
Can we see his
and
tax returns, do you think?
See, Joy, do you? As I see we only have 1 minute left. My handsome fiance traveled all the way here from Jacksonville, Florida, and he is in the audience. Girl, I'm talking about my man. He is in the audience. No, boo. I'm talking about my man. We're getting married. I'm so glad that he's here. He's a Democrat. I'm a Republican. We get along just fine.
He may want to see his tax return.
Do you want to see his tax return? Raise your hand if yes, the answer is yes.
I just want to know if you're going to take